Copycat Marketing Book Summary. This is the story I have always loved. So the story is like that. Once there is a business manager whose age was around 40. He was always strapped for money, so he took an appointment to meet a financial advisor so that he could get some advice related to finance. So now it happens that on the day of appointment, he reaches his office to meet that financial advisor. There were 2 doors outside that office, one of which had employed written on it and self-employed on the other door. The man opens the door with the name employed because he was an employee himself. And when he opens that door and goes inside, he again gets 2 doors. One of them wrote in the door earning less than $40,000 in 1 year, and in the second one wrote earning more than $40,000 in a year. Now that manager's earnings were less than $40,000 annually, so that's why he opens the first door. Once inside, he again finds 2 doors, one of which reads saving more than $2,000 a year and the other reads saving less than $2,000 a year. Now because the man had just $1,000 in his savings account, he goes in and opens the second door and sees that he has returned to the same place from where he went inside the first time office. Actually, the thing is that if you choose a bean choice, then you do not reach anywhere, but remain the same from where you started. You will always come back from where you left. Because to proceed further, you have to open different doors so that you can get different results. But how will you get these results? If you want to know what to do to move forward, then read this summary. Chapter 1. We live in a world of copycats. We live in the world of copycats. If there is one thing in which we are all good, then that is copycatting. But the question is that since we almost copy everything, why have we not copied any way to create wealth? From the day we are born, our copycatting starts. We catch the language copy of our parents, we get their move copy, get their lifestyle copy. In school, we learn to write letters by copying them, then we learn to drive, we give money to the instructor to teach us how to copy copies. And the more batteries we copy, the more we learn to drive the batteries. However, like everything else in life, copying is also a downside. Just because we keep copying everything or something, this meaning of it is not at all that it is a good thing. Now make sure that when you do a bad habit, copy. Because the copy you are copying is right, it is not necessary, is it? For example, take this story for an exam in which a man has a cloak shop. Every day an old man would pass by the man's shop and look at the watches. He takes out his pocket watch and sees something and goes his way. The store owner was surprised to see this old man's habit. So one day he came out of his shop and asked the old man what he was doing, to which the old man replied that I play the whistle at 5 o'clock every day, so passing these here, I see the eject time. Hearing the old man, the shop owner laughed loudly and said, and every day I hear the sound of your whistle I set the time for clocks. Actually both of them were copying each other. And both of them thought that the second person was right, but they just used to kiss and were wrong. So, why didn't we find a copycat to do wealth creation? The answer to this question would be that we are copying the method of job track and not the track of wealth creation. So why is it so? Actually, this is because most people think that jobs are the only way to fulfill their financial dreams. So you should also think carefully, like the 95% people who are on the job track, and probably till the age of 65, who will have gone bankrupt, will you copy the same thing? Chapter 2. What is true wealth? What is true wealth? The truth of true wealth is not only that you can buy things, but also the ability to be true wealth free, which means that you have so much money, so much time that you can do whatever you want, when you want and here. Keep in mind that it is never enough to have enough money. You should also have enough time because lost time never comes back. You will find many such high-paid doctors or engineers, but if you ask them if they are really free, they will not have an answer. Because those people are not really free. If anything ever happens to them and they have to quit, they will not be able to survive without the same lifestyle that they are used to. This is called income creation, which means that you trade your time for money. And you do not eat anything in it unless you do something personally. This is a kind of trap, or as our author likes to call it, time for money trap. Income creation is temporary, it is not long-lasting. Once you stop working for a cause, like if you are unable to work due to some disease, then tell me how you will be able to work? No, do you have any answer to this? Well, then how will you finance a luxurious life that is not dependent on your doing or not working? But this can happen when you have residual income. Residual income continues to earn money for you irrespective of whether you go to work or not. It sounds like a little dream, doesn't it? Well, luckily it is not fictional. This is not a dream. Let's create a fictional character which we will call John. John has been saving 10% of his income for 40 years and he has invested this money very wisely. And when he retired, he had an investment of more than $1 million, which he used to get 10% every year, and this amount is equal to $100,000. So in a way, he is earning this money sitting without doing any work, and this is his actual wealth. Chapter 3, Trading Your Time for Money. Trading time for money. Nowadays we have 50/50ths plan. We work 50 hours weekly every year for 50 years, and when we retire, we get only 50% of our lifetime earnings. And the problem is that what we used to earn earlier was not even then imagine that when we get only 50% of it, then how will we survive after retirement? This is a basic example of linear growth. To simulate linear growth, we use these equations given below: HH, hourly veg, XN, numbers of hour worked, equals II, income. It simply means that what you give is what you get in actual, and when you are not able to give that much, then how can you get more? To understand the limit of linear growth, we understand it by an example. There are two people who do two different jobs. Let's name the first one as John. Now John works to sell flowers at one place. With this work he earns $10 every hour, and if he takes out the transportation from home to work and also works daily hours, weekly 6 days, then he earns $600 per week. And if he works 50 weeks every year, he will earn $30,000 a year. If seen, it is not even such a small amount, because many people are able to see only dreams that they wish they could earn so much. Although every year it's $30,000, John has maximum income, he can never earn more than this. And he is not able to spend much time with his family, and neither does he ever take a break. His income is based on his linear growth. He gets paid only once, and once he gets paid, he has to race again. In this way, he is trading his time in exchange for money. Now we take the second character. This is Mark, a generic practitioner in the medicine line. He earns $150,000 a year, which is a good amount. However, even then he has to work for 10 hours a day and weekly 6 days, so in this way he is a slave of his work. He returns home exhausted from work, is unable to spend time with his children. He is not living the life as he thought. And the real problem is that whether you earn $30,000 this year or now, if you leave the job once $150,000, then your earning is zero. The CEO of a company earns a lot of money. Maybe $3 million a year or more, even though his employee earns just $20,000 a year. So why? This is because the CEO knows how to leverage money. His employees are his leverage, so he earns 1% of his 100 employees' effort instead of 100% of his effort. And the same thing is leverage. However, just having leverage is not enough, you should also know how to use it, otherwise it is useless for you. In this next chapter, we are going to explain the same thing to you. Chapter 4, Work Smarter. Note harder. Smart work is not hard. Let's go in August time of 1888. Asa Kendler bought the exclusive rights to a carbonated fountain of drink called Coca-Cola for $2,300. This was a big success because at that time there was a fountain of this drink at almost every drugstore where people could drink Coca-Cola for 5 cents. However, one day Kendler took a decision that really changed history. One day a friend of Kendler's came to his office and gave him an advice in exchange for a small fee. After thinking for some time, Kendler made him pay. His friend came to him and said softly, "Bottle it." What was it then? Before the Coca-Cola bottle came, people had to go to the drugstore to drink it. Therefore, the entire profit of the company was dependent on how many people would go to the drugstore by putting an effort to drink a Coca-Cola drink. But the bottling of the drink created the leverage. The company had leveraged time, effort, and location by putting its product in the bottle. And now that his product was being sold in the bottle, one could assume that a 6-pack of Coca-Cola fountain could be enjoyed at home. So this is leverage, so that you can do your work in a smarter way instead of harder, or in other words, it is a way to earn more money in less time. Leveraging your way through franchise through leveraging. Nowadays franchising business is in great trend. Almost 60% of US goods are supplied through the franchise. It is a good business, but it also has a huge downside, and that is its startup cost. Now, not everyone is so rich for an exam as to spend $1 million and get a McDonald's franchise. And the worst thing is that you are not going to become rich with just one franchise. For this you will have to take multiple shops. But the good news is that there is also a second alternative franchise system whose startup cost is so low that it can start even at $500. You can be paid 1,000 times for the work you do only once. Now you will ask how? Let's see its answer in the next chapter. Chapter 5, Exponential Growth. Ogiolamacardi was an old 88-year-old who was living a tough life. She used to do the laundry and iron of neighbors for livelihood, for which she used to charge bundle $2. And after the World War II, he had bundled his price up to $10. Despite all this, she was able to earn only $9,000. When she was 40, she started saving some money. It increased with the saving time. And in the summer of 1995, he made $150,000 from his savings. Donated to a charity. Now the question is that a woman whose income is below average, how could she donate such a huge amount? She used to invest some amount of her savings in something every year. Instead of spending money, she used to invest in him. And we call this thing compounding. Tells us to expand it further. Suppose you invested $10,000 in Xerox 25 years ago, then today your $10,000 will be converted into $40 million. This is an alternative method of franchising. Franchising is undoubtedly a good thing, but to start it, you should have a lot of money, but in compounding it is not so. You can start with less money and earn a bigger profit after some time. So now how can you earn big profit from a small amount without any long time wait? So its answer is network marketing. Chapter 6, Synergism, Marriage. At the 1905 World Fair, Ernst Hemvey was trying his best to sell his waffles. He kept promoting it, yet no one bought his waffles. And even worse, it happened to him that there was a line of people outside his store next to the store where ice cream was being sold. Then one day the ice cream seller ran out of plates. He asked Ernst to borrow some plates. Ernst did not have plates, but thought, why not roll the waffles in such a way that ice cream can be held in it? And in this way ice cream cone was made, which people liked very much. And then worldwide ice cream cones became famous, and even today it is a favorite snack. This is a perfect example of the story synergism of ice cream and waffles. Two good products or concepts which are completely different from each other, yet when there is a combination, a new great product or concept is created. Now imagine that you have taken charge of creating a perfect synergism of wealth creation. A powerful synergism that touches everyone's life on this planet, which is affordable, and a duplicable synergism can be available to everyone. Well, it is quite simple, and I would like to call it a marriage of franchising and exponential growth. So what will be the result of his marriage? Network marketing, the ultimate synergism. Chapter 7, Network marketing, duplication is the way in which franchising can be made successful. And to create compounding true wealth, they are. If we combine these two, then network marketing is made. For network marketing, the simplest is to join a company that is already implementing this system. For the example, they will give you a product that you have to sell, and when you sell it, you get 25% commission. It may not seem like a huge amount, but if you teach this to every man too, then you are happy, your commission increased, because when that man goes ahead, you will get commission from that too. And when that person teaches this to someone else, then your commission will increase further. This is a pyramidal structure. The more people involved, the more your commission will be. And my dear, this is the method of Kate copying wealth creation. This is exactly like franchising, but the only difference is that in this you do not have to spend $1 million for startup, rather you have to spend very little money, and instead of going to the daily office, you can work from home. Thanks for listening such an amazing book summary.
Subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for weekly notification.